Welcome back to the Takeout. As we mentioned at the top of the program, the manhunt continues for Charlie Kirk's killer. And the political world continues to react to the staggering nature, shocking events around his death. His colleagues and friends, of course, on a separate track, grappling with their own personal loss. Among them is Jack Posobiec. He is a contributor for Turning Point USA and was a very close friend of Charlie's. Jack, let me just say off the top, I'm sorry. I appreciate your time. I'd like you to share with my audience what you want them to know about Charlie.
Well, Major, thanks so much for your kind words and giving me the opportunity to talk about my friend, because, you know, there's the Charlie Kirk that everybody knows. You see him on TikTok, you see him on these debate clips, you see him on these memes, but that's not the only side of Charlie. Charlie is loyal to a fault. Charlie is generous with his time. Charlie is always there anytime, day or night, to help you out with anything. He had a laugh. He had a sense of humor. He was always good-natured. And the idea that someone could take him away so quickly when he was just becoming a father and becoming the husband and the man that he had always wanted to become is unbelievable. It's completely unbelievable. And, you know, I remember last year after the events of Butler with President Trump, I talked to Charlie about this and my military background and pointed out, I said, you're never going to be able to completely secure these events. And Charlie said, I can't stop. I'm not going to stop.
What was the motivating factor in the end for Charlie? Was it politics or was it something bigger than a political party or a political moment in time?
You know, Charlie was a deeply devout Christian, and this is something that I think in the political space can really get lost. But privately, Charlie and I spoke more about the Bible, about scripture, about theology, more than almost anything else. I think that really was his sole driving factor. His wife, Erica, is incredibly devout. It's something that she talks about and speaks about all across the country, and I know it's going to be on that faith that she's relying right now.
And Jack, with that perspective, and I know that there are several people in Washington who are part of a text chain that Charlie had with Bible verses on an almost daily basis. If Charlie were with us, and I know he's with you in spirit and many others who admired him, and if he were to, as a thought experiment, try to explain to people what the Bible should tell them about their reaction to this moment, do you believe it would be more Old Testament or more New Testament?
You know, Charlie was a big fan of the Old Testament. Charlie was a deep, deep believer in the Old Testament, and I think he would say that you need to read them both. You need to put them together. But there was a quote he had on his desk that somebody just sent me a picture of that said, it's Micah 6:8. He has told you, O man, what is good, and what does the Lord require of you, but to do justice and to love kindness and to walk humbly with your God. So be true, be kind, but be just. And justice needs to be done here.
It has been said, Jack, that Charlie was a happy warrior, and that was meant as a compliment. Was he, from your perspective? And if you can think of a way to help illustrate that for my audience to remember, what would that be?
Well, you know, I think that was true. And just a great example of something that happened, you know, really just a couple of weeks ago. I remember Charlie sends me a message. He says, Jack, you know, it looks like I'm going to be on the South Park. I'm going to be in the new South Park episode. I said, what do you mean? And he sent me the press release. And I said, oh, boy, let's strap in. We'll see how this goes. And we saw the episode when it came out and some of the early clips, and he thought it was the funniest thing. And he embraced it completely. And he said he actually made the little picture they made of him as his profile picture online. And he thought it was hilarious. And he was a good sport, and he had a good laugh about everything. And that's just who Charlie was, not Charlie, the man you see in front of the camera, but that was Charlie, my friend.
And very briefly, Jack, he enjoyed, as I gather it and have read, the engagement, the back and forth, and he wasn't intimidated by people who disagreed with him. He actually was kind of energized by that. Do I have that about right?
oh, if you went to one of these events, he would say every time, if you disagree, come to the front of the line. If you disagree, if you have something that that I've said that you disagree with, come to the front of the line because that's who I want to talk to first. So that was what he went for. He wanted to have that repartee. He wanted to have that debate. He wanted to get into it with people who came from the other side of the aisle or perhaps a different walk of life. And he wanted to connect with them. And I think he really did connect with a lot of people. And I think that's why you saw the movement build around him the way that you did, and the way that we've never seen a conservative be able to do so on campus before.
Jack Posobiec, I appreciate you coming on and sharing your thoughts and perspectives very much. Thank you.
Thank you.